So you got some of the number one haters, the people who are saying Karmelo was guilty, it was black culture, and you can't resort to violence. Oh, they're backtracking now. They're recanting everything they said and giving a big fat apology. We got to discuss this.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Like, first, my brothers and sisters, this is the Afro Elite YouTube channel. We have much to discuss this evening. Appreciate every single last one of you guys for being here with us. I know you guys are asking, where's the glass? I got to find them. I'm not sure. I misplaced them, but it's okay. I can still see you and you can see me. That's all that matters. All right. So we're going to get straight into it. Before we get into it, first off, I want to thank you guys for being here. That's just number one. I just got to do it, just off rip. Number two, to protect the channel and the interest of the channel, we have to play the copyright disclaimer to establish everything we play on YouTube thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use. All right, just get that out the way. So as we're getting that out the way, I would appreciate, I really, really would, if you guys hit that like button. Leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? I would appreciate you guys doing that. We'll be right back. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, Karmelo, good young brother, was in a terrible situation. Nothing he did besides mind his business. Everybody says, hey, just mind your business and you won't have no problem. Just mind your business. Just keep to yourself. Mind your business. Mind your business. Well, that's what Karmelo was doing. And then you had Austin Metcalf and his twin brother, Hunter Metcalf. They came up messing with Karmelo. They were told not to by Karmelo. Karmelo said, hey, man, leave me alone. I'm not trying to, be messed with. Just leave me alone. Don't put your hands on me. They didn't listen. And unfortunately, the situation wound up becoming a physical situation, and where Karmelo had to do the most logical thing anybody would do in his situation and defend himself. Okay, and that's what he did, which is an unfortunate situation that anybody was in that situation. Austin Metcalf lost his life. Nobody wants anybody to lose their life. Nobody wants anybody to do that. This is a learning lesson to not mess with people, to not put your hands on people, to not assault and attack people. That's what we should all be getting from this. But no. They found a way to put the blame for whatever. Well, we know why. Because Karmelo is the young black man and Austin is the young white man. So just by default, Karmelo is the bad guy because he's black. I mean, can't you tell? Doesn't he look like a thug, even though he had several different scholarships and he was, had after school programs and he was an athlete and he was a straight A student and he saved the boy's life from drowning and he had a summertime job and everybody loved him. But can't you tell? I mean, he's black. I mean, what else? And Austin is good because he's white, and white is good. That's what that means. That's what that means. So you had a whole bunch of people out here. You had a whole bunch of people out here just outright slandering Karmelo because they were, siding with that. One of the people who were doing that was Charleston White. Charleston White was out here talking about not just slandering Karmelo. He found a way to tie that and piggyback that into black culture, because it wasn't just Karmelo. All of black people were really wrong with that situation. It was all black people. So this is what he was like in the beginning. Okay. I already played the copyright thing. So this is what he was on. Hold on. This is what he was on. Where is it?
Weapon to school. Yeah.
So you can't say I was
What if he says, but what if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before, where you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher, let's bring these kids in here and resolve this issue. It's called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teachers know, so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation to say this is self-defense. It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear. Anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it's at a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got...
Okay. Premeditated, I feel like a lot of people miss, or they don't miss, they deliberately are mistelling what premeditated means. Premeditated murder, premeditated. That means you planned on doing it. Okay, that's the short and simple answer for that. That means you planned it out. That means the day before, whenever you said, okay, this is where I'm going to be. This is where he's going to be. I'm going to kill him. Before there was any altercation, before he even got there, you planned it out. You already knew what weapon you were going to use. You already knew how you were going to get away. You planned it out. Okay. There was thought put into it. By the fact that the twin brother said that it was them who approached Karmelo, that completely deletes any option or any way to make this premeditated. You can't make somebody mess with you. You can't do that. You can't do that. So the only way this could possibly be premeditated is if Karmelo has some X-Man powers and is able to see into the future and plot every single thing. That's the only way. And even still, you still have to put the blame on the Metcalf twins, because they are young adults just as old as he is, and they're the ones who decided to mess with him. Karmelo, and everybody says this, but people keep skipping over this very, very important fact. Karmelo was minding his business. Karmelo was not bothering anybody. He wasn't in the wrong seat. He wasn't in the wrong tent. If he was, it still wasn't Austin's business to remove him. He still didn't have no place to remove him. It wasn't his authority. It wasn't his tent. He's not no coach. He's not no security. Okay? So he doesn't have the right to remove him. But he wasn't bothering anybody. They deliberately saw the black kid and they decided to mess with him. So by that being the fact, and his twin brother confirmed that on multiple occasions, his twin brother confirmed that on the news and to the police in the police report. By that means this is impossible for it to be premeditated. It's impossible. But that's not what he's going to say.
A knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail. You got to go. There's no so when is it all right to kill the bully? I don't give a fuck what the bully did. He don't have a right to die.
No.
Man, you weak man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies.
And see, this is the I don't like the fact that he's even framing it like this. Because from what we know, based off of the police report and everything like that, Karmelo didn't mean to kill nobody. He was being grabbed and he was being thrown around and he stabbed him one time. He wasn't just jabbing. Stabbed him one single time and ran off. If you mean to do that, you would stab at multiple times just to make sure you do it. Then when the police picked him up, he asked about Austin's well-being. He was like, is he okay? I don't know. Because he didn't know. He ran off as soon as he could. As soon as Austin let his hands go, he ran off. So it's an unfortunate situation. It honestly is. Anytime, teenagers, high schoolers are interacting and somebody loses their life, it's unfortunate. We're not savage people or inhumane people, but we are logical people, okay? And we know for a fact Karmelo had no intention on doing nobody harm. We know for a fact he didn't have any intention on like, oh, I'm gonna get my revenge. When you frame it as, well, is it okay to kill the bully? You're missing the big plot and missing the big point that this was really an accident on Karmelo's behalf, which was self-defense. He defended himself in the only way he knew how in that moment, and that self-defense is what caused Austin's life. It wasn't like, I'm gonna get Austin today, he don't know I got a knife on me. It wasn't like that. All right. So you're framing it as if this was some type of, he was hiding around a corner or behind the bleachers or something like that, and he jumped out and get him. That's not what happened.
And this won't happen. We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's going to always be one bird to come in and take the food from the. This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the kids how to deal with them. Bullies build character.
Why don't we not teach the kids not to bully? Notice the energy he's putting. He's putting this energy on Karmelo. Teach the kids not to bully. Why do you not teach the bullies not to do that? So it's his fault for not knowing how to deal with somebody messing with him and beating him? That's his fault.
You go to work, it's going to be a bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution. Everything don't have to end in violence. But when you come from the black culture, everything is disputed in violence.
Yeah, that is the.
You cannot bring.
Now look at the shot. When you come from the black culture, everything's disputed in violence. You talking about the people. You're talking about us as if we're the people who take assault rifles to a school and commit mass shootings. They're the people who take assault rifles to schools, to grocery stores, to churches, and all of that stuff with a mass execution, mass murder. Okay, that's what they be on, and we are the ones with the stereotype. Man, y'all always resorting to violence. What are y'all doing? Okay. So that's the type of energy he was on. Now, what wound up happening is that there is video footage. I don't have it. Haven't seen it. There's like surveillance footage. It's not camera footage from what I have heard. It's surveillance footage that looks at the situation. And a lot of people are changing their story. Now, he's been indicted by a grand jury, but that doesn't make him guilty. He still has his day in court. But a lot of people are saying that, hey, the video evidence matches what the testimony is saying on both sides. So all of the evidence that's coming out, and this is something that we've already said, all of the evidence that is coming out is showing that Karmelo is probably a lot more innocent than they tried to make it, because they tried to make it seem like he was some thug. They was putting up a picture with him and a BB gun and talking about, oh my God, he's a thug. Look at this thug and what they be doing. But all of the evidence is starting to prove Karmelo to be innocent. Okay. And now what you got is you got people who are trying to, I guess, dodge the slander, because what that is slander. And that's not the first time he's made a video. I just showed you one, but the slander, now he's trying to dodge a lawsuit from what I can ascertain. So now he's out here backtracking on what he had to say. So this is his quote unquote apology.
So let me just say, since I said that, I want to take the time to apologize to Karmelo Anthony's family. Man, I was all the way wrong about that kid. I was all the way wrong about that kid, homie.
Yeah, he was just indicted.
I was all the way wrong about that kid. I met with his father. I've been meeting with his father regularly. I had opportunity to talk, piece him up.
Before he goes, let me just stress the importance. And this is why when some people will ask me what my opinion is, and I will, as a grown man, now he's older than me, but I'm a grown man, I will tell you I need to know more before I form an opinion, at least say the opinion publicly. You shouldn't be going, as a grown person, grown man or woman, you shouldn't be going out here off rip, giving an opinion not knowing all the facts, not knowing both sides of the story, not knowing the details, and then now you wind up having to give an apology. Now you wind up having to backtrack when the facts start to come out, and when you start to find out that you were wrong, and you got a video all on the internet that's got thousands, hundreds of thousands of views of you saying one thing that's wrong. Now you got to come out with being all like, hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Well, if you would have just sat back and listened and just did a little bit of due diligence, just dug a little bit into the research, you would have found out that what you said in the beginning was wrong. But people jump on the internet because they want to be the first one to give a hot take. They want to be the first one to say something about it, not knowing anything, because they want the clicks and the views, and that takes them away from the integrity of the due diligence it takes to learn what really happened. Because he got out there, he's on the couch, oh, he wrong, you can't bring a knife to school, that's this, that's that, that's this. Now you looking goofy, making an apology. I can respect the fact that at the very least, because Charleston, I will give him this. Okay? He's the only one who I've seen as of today who slandered Karmelo, who's actually made a public apology. Everybody else who was against Karmelo from the beginning, they're still on that type of time. So I will give him that, okay? I give credit where credit is due, but you shouldn't have put yourself in this situation. All right. This is what happens when you jump out or you listen to one side of the story and you don't care to hear what's on the other side. All right. This is what happens.
He go beat these charges. I was under the impression that he brought a knife to school. So I'm taking a knife to school. Fuck him. He didn't take a knife to school. He didn't even know these two white boys. These two white boys just came over there with him because he was with another kid that knew those white boys. So he a new black kid who these big old white boys, big white boys. He a small frame kid. One of the white boys was on that side. One of the white boys was on that side. So either way go, they had him blocked in. And these some big white boys. These are some big, violent, aggressive white boys who got guns. And not only that, the one he killed whooped their daddy. See, the daddy coming into the picture playing like he been around. The dad ain't been around. We would think the black dad ain't around. The white dad ain't around. The mother don't even identify the daddy as the husband. So he must have been an abusive father. He ain't even been in their life. So he just coming and getting the light. He just coming and getting the light. So he a low down dirty cracker. His sons are bullies. They bullying on the kid. They no, because he black. Get from up under the tent. Man, y'all tripping. I ain't going nowhere. And they got a reputation of beating up people. The one he had to stab, he broke his daddy's ligaments. Big old strong cracker. He should have killed both of them. He should have killed both them Peckerwoods with a that's minding his motherfucking business, that don't bring harm to nobody. This kid ain't a bad kid.
Now, do you see? I mean, I'm talking about it's literally a 180. It is, he literally did a 180, because in the previous video, he said, it don't matter if they're bullies, you still can't kill them. You still got to practice conflict resolution. Remember, he said that, oh, you got to practice conflict resolution. You still can't resort to violence. And that's what black people do, because in black culture, we always resort to violence. Oh, this is a complete 180 now. Oh, this is like a different version, like a different dimension. Okay, this is the Twilight Zone, because this is not. He was all, oh, it don't matter if they bullies, you still can't kill no bully. Now you can't do that. You got to practice. You got to talk. You got to tell the teacher. Oh, now you can defend yourself. Okay.
He bully white boy just fuck with the black baby. So now they trying to make it about race. No, it ain't about race. Justice was served when he killed that cracker. Self-defense. And the reason I say that is, anybody can go see the video. Why do you think the media outlets ain't promoting to go see this video? You can go up to the school to see it. And if you go up to the school and see it, we all to see this kid will be found not guilty. But because it's in an all-white town in Crackerville, and they done made it about race, whoever Sarah Fields is, Sarah Fields, you a rotten motherfucker. And if I just had some time, I would put an army behind this family, but I ain't got time. It's supposed to be an army because Sarah Fields and the father and somebody who works for the court have been releasing Karmelo Anthony's family information to Sarah Fields. She's been putting it online, and the white folk been going. So they've been having to move. All those lies made up, homie, they can't even get the GoFundMe money. So they can't even touch the Go. So they just trying to smear campaign, but that's what the cracker do. Boy, I wish I can go back to when I was seeing the type of shit. Boy, I wish they could have caught me 3 years ago when I was really on my let's go get the cracker shit.
I'm telling you, this gives me he's trying to dodge a lawsuit heavy. That's the topic. I'm not gonna lie to you. To me, it's coming off as you trying your damnedest to dodge a damn defamation lawsuit. You trying to dodge something, you trying to save your rep. That's what it's coming off to me. Because we said this from jump. We said from jump the family wasn't using the money. And what they're talking about, Sarah Fields, was Sarah Fields suspected white supremacist. What she was doing is she was taking pictures of the family's cars and stuff like that in their house. And she was all like, oh, look at the GoFundMe money. They're using the GoFundMe money to buy a mansion. They're using the GoFundMe money to buy this brand new Cadillac and this brand new car and all this, a couple other cars. They were using the GoFundMe. We said from jump, no, the family not using that money. We said that from jump several months ago. He's coming out here now officially saying, oh yeah, they weren't using the money. Everybody been knowing that. You were like, what, 2-3 months behind at this point. It's coming off to me, honestly, like you trying to dodge something. You trying to dodge a bullet. You realize you put your foot in something, and now you know that you can't back out of that. So now you trying to apologize. That's what it's coming off as to me.
But homie, I wish I ain't got that spirit no more. So I'm saying, why black people ain't rallying around this family as they tried to rally around in the beginning? They are threatening this family. Homie, they keep having to move.
But how do you don't just lose the spirit, bro? It's either you got it or you don't.
No, you do lose it. You do lose it.
So you sold out.
No. You lose it. Everybody loses. Malcolm lost it, homie.
Like what you told me a year ago, you said that losing touch with reality.
You lose the spirit, homie. You lose you lose the spirit of the things you once loved. Football players, artists. Dave Chappelle lost the spirit, went to Africa, man, fuck that. You lose.
You don't lose the spirit, not of revolution. Malcolm didn't lose anything. He died on that. You don't lose the spirit. That's no. If you quote unquote lose it, you never really had it. That's just what it is. You don't lose that. Maybe, yeah, you lose interest in playing sports when you get old. You don't lose that spirit. That's coward talk. And he's coming off like a grifter. Now he's a revolution. Oh, we got to get the cracker. Now, before you was talking about we got to stop blaming everything on race and black culture. Black culture is this. Black culture is this. Now, oh, these no good crackers now. Okay, no. And I can't get that. Now, he's saying something else, though. He also has some other things he had to say. Because he's made multiple videos. He did that. He's made multiple videos about this.
George Floyd, the autopsy said he has fentanyl in the system. So another lie that they said, this is a George Floyd. The autopsy said he has fentanyl in the system.
Okay, let me say this. When we first heard about the situation, a lot of people were getting online and a lot of people were saying these people had beef. Karmelo and Austin and his brother had beef. They met at some type of party. They said that there was some girlfriend involved, Carmelo's girlfriend or a girl that Austin liked in the beginning or whatever the case is. And nobody was able to substantiate any of that stuff. I'm telling you right now, lying is not going to help. It's actually going to make the situation much, much worse. Much, much worse. Okay? You don't need to do that. If you're sitting up there talking about, oh, yeah, there was fentanyl in his system. Dude, what are you doing? You've seen the autopsy where there was fentanyl in Austin Metcalf's system? Because if you didn't and you're lying, that's also slander, and that's not helping anything. See, this is what I don't like. Now you're doing some extra stuff. You're doing extra stuff. And that's going to make it look bad. It's going to make it look like, well, black people are just lying because he's black and they're trying to be on code with the blacks. So they're just going to lie. Where's the autopsy? And he's saying something else about that. He has another video saying that there was some pool party and the girls wanted Karmelo and the brothers got jealous. And dude, now you doing the most. And this is what I don't like. Now it seems like you using this because now your name is trending. So you just out here saying whatever at this point. I'm not saying that Austin didn't have no drugs or steroids or fentanyl or whatever in his system. I'm saying unless you can show that, this is a case of life and death at this point. Unless you can show that and prove that, unless you have evidence to substantiate what you said, don't say it. Because you're making the situation much worse.
So, another lie that they said, he brought the knife to school. He didn't have a knife. He had a Boy Scouts aid tool. Well, what's on that tool? They have 12 different components. You lift this one up, it may be a bottle opener. You lift this one up, it may be a screwdriver. And they're about this small. They're smaller than 3 inches. It was so small, you don't even see it when they take the picture next to the body because it laid next to the body right by the backpack. Sarah fails. Oh, they didn't know a nigga can do due diligence works like this. Oh, they didn't know a nigga can do it due diligence. I went to Texas Western. They taught me how to research. They taught me how to go into the library databases and pull up other articles and things like that and go get the court pay. I know how to do what you do, Sarah. I just play an ignorant nigga online because it pays much more than what you make. I get 10,000 interviews, so I pay a crazy nigga online.
See, no, I think that was very interesting that he said that. That was very interesting. Yeah, I just play an ignorant nigga online because it pays more. So he admits he's a grifter. That's admitting that it's a grift. So all of that, man, blacks can't do anything, because white people like to hear that. White people like to hear a black person say, well, black culture is bad. So you'll get out here and you'll slander other black people and slander black culture because it pays well. That's what you just admitted. And you'll flip flop and you'll grift and you'll go this way. You're on the fence. Whichever is paying the most, whichever is filling your pockets, that's what you're going to do. Okay. That's dishonorable. And he literally just admitted it. And it's like he's bragging about it. Oh yeah, I just play an ignorant nigga on. You're a grown ass man talking about, yeah, you play something. No, what you're doing is very detrimental because you have white supremacists who use that and say, like, oh no, you see, it's a black who said it, so it's not racist if a black said it. Charleston, right? He's one of you all, so it counts. So no.
Then I come offline and be a great dad. See, my daughter just walked by right there. So my daughter just graduated high school last year. She's waiting to go to college. So while she's waiting to go to college, I put her in Paul Mitchell Beauty School. She just graduated that the other day. That's why she waits to go to college. But listen to me, right? So he didn't have a knife. It was a Boy Scout tool that most white people give their elementary kids. You lift it this way, you lift it this way. About 12 items on there. A knife just so happens to be on there. I think even a fingernail file is on there. The knife was so small, it did not penetrate his heart. It was too small. It was a little small knife. They're not telling us this. And they tricked me. And they had me going against a good kid. They really had me going against a good kid. So I'm fucked up about this, my white Republican friends. I'm fucked up. This is what the Democrats did to the poor niggas with the rappers. And come on, y'all are doing to, come on, you're gonna do what the Democrats are doing to the blacks.
Okay. Now, it could be possible that he had like a multi tool kit or something with a knife, because people do have that. To say a knife is too, the blade of the knife was too small, it couldn't penetrate his heart. I'm gonna be honest, it don't take a long blade to get to the heart. You know what I'm saying? So with that, if you're saying his heart was not penetrated, you know what I'm saying? If that's wrong, you're messing up. You don't have to lie. Okay? It didn't penetrate it. Okay, first off, why are you saying that? And then second of all, if you're proven, if the autopsy proves that yes, it did, then what are you doing? Okay? Now we got to do damage control because you're out here lying. You're saying, oh no, it was fentanyl. The knife didn't penetrate his heart. Now we got to come out here and do damage control because it's going to make everybody who's defending Karmelo look like liars. So yeah, I got to get on that. All that lying is detrimental.
Just give us the truth. We're smart enough conservative. And by the way, my voting record is all conservative. Mike Wallace, you name it. Mona Bailey, me and Mona Bailey. Shelley Pritchard, Jen Hall, I know all of them. Tarrant County GOP Republican Party, I know all of them. All of them. Sarah, I'm in the loop. I mean, I know about you too. Meth whore.
Okay, so then he starts going after Sarah Fields. And Sarah Fields is a suspected white supremacist who's been doxing the Anthony family. And he says something about Sarah Fields. He also says something about the Metcalf father. Okay, it's playing. Hold on.
So Sarah, let's tell the truth. Jeff, let's tell the truth. You even said in an interview, but you're talking too fucking much online, Jeff. You're talking too much online, Jeffrey Metcalf. And you're partnering with someone who wasn't there, and it's clearly she's a hateful-hearted. And by the way, Sarah, we have your background as well. You said Dominique Alexander's a horrible person, and he is. And you once were too, Sarah. You used to smoke meth. You was a meth addict whore. So don't try to get cleaned up in the Republican Party and hide behind this conservative shield as if you once was a liberal whore, getting high, selling your cunt for meth. So come on, Sarah. Don't play like you're just so high and mighty. Jeff, you're a woman beater. You used to beat your wife. Your kids heard it. They saw it. You had anger issues, Jeff. Guess what? Your two big boys did too. They had very anger issues. And from what's been reported about Austin and his twin brother, they've been kicking ass since elementary. They've been bigger than most children. Not only that, they are trained experts in jiu-jitsu. Why isn't the media reporting this?
Now, to be honest with you, I will say, and I said this from the very beginning, is something very odd about the Metcalf family. I said that from the very beginning. Okay. And this is before, because people are pulling up different clips of Austin Metcalf's father doing racist stuff. And people are pulling up receipts of him having some type of sexual assault charge and some violence against women charge or something like that. So people pulling up receipts on the dad. So they're making it seem like now the dad came out at first. He was like, I don't forgive nobody. They murdered my son. Then next thing you know, oh, I forgive him because that's what Jesus will want me to do. So I'm sitting up there like, okay. And the mom's not on that page. The son's not on. I said, there's something very weird going on with that. I said that from the very beginning. So yeah, that probably is true. That part probably is true. With the whole thing about Sarah Fields doing meth, that probably is true too. I don't know it, but that probably is true because that's what a lot of these conservatives do. They're very liberal white women, okay? And they'll party and they'll be with black people and they'll do a bunch of drugs and all of that stuff. And then next thing you know, they try to whitewash all of that stuff away by becoming ultra conservative. They'll try to make up for the past by becoming ultra conservative. Okay, somebody saying meth calf. Oh Lord, here y'all go. Here y'all go. Yeah, so that's what they be on. That's what they be on. Okay. But you had some suspected white supremacists who did not like that at all. Hold on. Let's pull this up. You had suspected white supremacists didn't like that at all. Look at this. I don't know who this guy is, but he made a video in response and trying to defend Sarah Fields.
Sarah Fields gets her hands on all this stuff the same way literally any American in this country can get, but no one else does. She takes the time to do it. And so she gets the info first and she posts it. And so she is the leading investigative journalist when it comes to Karmelo Anthony. And all of these YouTube videos you see reporting on Karmelo Anthony, and this has happened, oh, this is what just happened, oh, this is new, oh my gosh, breaking news. I guarantee you Most of it came from Sarah Fields. Salute to her. And salute to her again for shouting me out. She doesn't know who I am, but she did ask, does anyone know who this is? Because she appreciates my video. But we appreciate you and the work you're doing. And because she's doing such good work, Charleston White has specifically targeted her and has tried to paint this picture, but really he didn't lie. He said Sarah Fields has somebody in the government, in the local government in Texas, who's given her all this info on Karmelo Anthony. Yes, she does. But the way you phrase it makes it sound like she's doing something sneaky behind the scenes. She's got some illegal connections. Oh, it's a big conspiracy. Yes, someone in the government, local government, is giving her this info. You know why? Because anyone can do it. It's open to the public. It's public information. You just have to request it. Anyone can get it. I could get it. My cat could get it if it knew how to type on a keyboard. What are you talking about? You act like what she's doing is bad and wrong and like unethical. It's not. Everything.
Okay. First off, I got a question. Who gave the trailer park podcast equipment? Who gave the trailer park? We gotta check on somebody, because this dude is making a damn video straight out the trailer park. Okay, who gave them a video? Who gave them a webcam? Who gave them a microphone? Who gave them that? Who gave them the trailer park podcast equipment? Okay, we need to hold them accountable. We do. Sarah Fields, the issue with Sarah Fields is Sarah Fields was not, quote unquote, releasing public information about the case involving Karmelo Anthony. Sarah Fields was releasing information about Karmelo Anthony's family and putting Karmelo Anthony's family in danger. This is why people are getting on Sarah Fields, because Karmelo was still locked up. This is when he didn't get bond yet. He wasn't released on bond, on bail. He wasn't released. He didn't make bond. He was behind bars. And what Sarah Fields was doing was she was finding the address of the mom and dad and putting that out to the internet. She was finding where the parents worked. She was finding their license plate to their vehicles. She was taking pictures of all of that stuff, doing that stuff, and doxing the family. Okay, it's not like, oh, well, Karmelo is a danger to the public, so we got to be aware. He was still behind bars at this time. Okay, he didn't make bail yet at this time, and she was releasing information to the family, which put the family in danger. And then when the family moved, she was the one who found out where the family moved to and posted that address, and then posted the address of the owners. All right, or the information of the owners to put them in danger. Mind you, Karmelo is still behind bars at this time. So she's not doing this, oh, this is public information. She's putting his family, his mother, his father, his brother, and his sister in danger as a suspected white supremacist. That's white supremacist behavior. So she's not doing no good for the public. So she should be called out as the white supremacist that she is, because that's white supremacist behavior.
Every piece of information she's gotten, she's gone about the right way. So now he is like putting her in the crosshairs and enacting violence upon her. And you know what? It's already starting to show its face. Take a look. This one comment under the same video we all just watched says, Karmelo did God's work. You think God wanted Karmelo to murder Austin Metcalf? You are insane.
No, he's not showing the video. He's not showing the comment. He's just saying, oh, there's this one comment. I can't pull it up on the screen, but just take my word for it. I'm reading this comment.
Karmelo did God's work. Wish the same on that lying B word, feeding information as well. You wish death upon Sarah Fields because she is giving you the raw facts from the data, from the reports, from the logs that are coming straight from the government.
And look, and this is something that anytime we call them out, they're sitting up there making it seem as if this is some death threat when we call out the fact that they're doxing people and they're doing stuff they're not supposed to do. They'll make it seem like this is some death. Oh, so you're wishing death on her, and she's not doing anything wrong but being an upstanding citizen, and now people want to hang her and burn her like a witch. I can't believe it. Why do you guys do this, you black people, you niggers? Why do you guys do this? No, this is not what's going on. Nobody's doing that. We're calling out the fact that she is putting a whole family in danger. There's a trial going on. He has the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. He's not been proven guilty yet. And yet you're doxing his family again and again and again and again for no reason but to put them in danger. Because it's not like you're putting the safety of the community on alert. It's not like you're doing that. He's still in prison. Why are you putting his family, his mother's job and his father's job and the place their baby sister sleeps? Why are you putting that out on the internet? Why would you do that? Unless you're a white supremacist. Unless you're a white supremacist, that's the only reason you would do that. And you got other suspected trailer park trash white supremacists who are backing that up. Yeah, you do. But y'all, if there's not one, there's always going to be one person, one biscuit loving, massa loving, tap dancing shield of a person who's always going to come out and he's going to defend a white person until he dies. Y'all know who this is. We've talked about him enough. I'm sure y'all already know who I'm going to bring up. Brace yourselves, y'all, but here we go.
Now let's get to the bottom of it all.
Yeah, y'all knew it. Y'all already knew it. Y'all knew who it was. Y'all knew it. Y'all knew anytime somebody tries to hold a white person accountable, he got to come in. He's the damn white savior. Y'all already knew it was going to be him.
Now let's get to the bottom of it all. Let's get to the nitty gritty. First and foremost, it does not matter if the Metcalf brothers were bullies. Being a bully don't matter. Charleston White in the video says that he didn't even know them. So he don't have any personal experience with them being bullies. So in a premeditated state, there's no way that he can premeditate that somehow they're going to attack him because he don't even know these kids. Now,
being a bully does matter in this situation. Yes, it does. It matters because what you're doing by showing that they're bullies is you're showing that these people are a danger. By showcasing and exposing the fact that the Metcalf twins are bullies is giving evidence that these people are a danger, because you guys are trying to make the argument that Karmelo shouldn't fear any danger. There was no threat to Karmelo at all. And then when we say, oh, these people are known bullies who are known for going around beating people up. Oh, well, what does that matter? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Yeah, that does matter. That does matter. If he has a record, if he is known for beating somebody up. Now, if he was black, you guys will pull up any record you could. Y'all will pull up record from when he was in damn kindergarten and he stole somebody's crayon, and y'all would say he's a thug. He was a thug from kindergarten, stealing people's crayons and their juice boxes. That's what you guys would say if he was black. But because he's white, now he's being a bully, but that doesn't matter. That has no importance to the situation. That's what you're saying now.
And you can say he heard around the block that they were bullies, but it does not matter if you're a bully, if you hear they're bullies, what their actions are and what your defense to their actions is the only thing that matters in a court of law. So you have a kid, even if it's a utility tool that you can flip around like this, somehow he got the knife out and stabbed somebody with the knife. He didn't pick the fingernail clippers. He didn't pick the fingernail file. He didn't pick the scissors. He didn't pick, I don't know, the flathead, the Phillip. He didn't pick none of that. He picked a knife that he then stabbed the kid in the chest. Then what did he say documented on the court document, on the police report, is that he said, touch me and see what happens. So therefore, he has this object in his bag. He said, touch me and see what happens. He removes the object, stabs the kid in the chest with enough force and enough depth that it killed him almost instantly. He didn't die at the hospital, y'all. He died in his brother's arms at the track meet. Now they may have pronounced him at another time. He was dead at the track meet. His brother saw him go dead. So to make these claims is foolish. to say that the girl Sarah Fields, which shout out to Sarah Fields, I looked at her social media and she's all over this story.
Yeah, of course, he gonna give Sarah Fields her props.
Promoting facts and pointing out how, Charleston White is a complete nut. But
and here's the thing. You can puncture somebody's skin. It doesn't take much. If you're using a metal object, if you're using a sharp metal object, you can puncture somebody's skin with you don't necessarily have to use a knife. You can stab somebody with a screwdriver. You can stab somebody with a nail filer. If it's metal, you can. You can stab somebody with a damn bottle opener if it's sharp enough. You can stab somebody with enough force if it's a strong enough object, if it's metal, if it's made of steel, you can stab somebody with anything. It doesn't take that much to stab somebody in the chest and reach the heart. So you're saying that he deliberately pulled out the knife. You don't know if that's the truth. It could have been just anything at all. But as long as it's, strong enough, it can puncture somebody's skin. That's all it needs.
You can't say that, this person is revealing their address and they doing this and that. You have no evidence of that. And I hope that somebody sue you if you're out here lying about somebody and don't have no evidence.
You hope somebody sue you, man, you better be careful what you wish for. Because the way I've been counting up, you got the most lawsuits coming at your name. Charleston's trying to back up. He's trying to save himself. You going full-fledged. You going 10 toes down. Talk about you hope somebody. You better not use the word sue. You better not use that word.
Let me just say this. It's very difficult in the state of Texas to indict a minor and try him as an adult unless you have unequivocal evidence that's pretty strong that will get you an indictment. And let me explain real quick. There has to be a substantial amount of information for them to present this to a grand jury dealing with a kid that was 17. They didn't just charge him with murder. They didn't charge him with manslaughter. They charged him with first-degree murder. That means that you have to show an element of premeditated murder. And from all accounts that we see, even the video that reporters are talking about, that people can go and watch, at least the people in the media can go and watch, there's no indication that there was an altercation before the stabbing occurred. It's not like
there is. The brother said there was. The brother admitted to the police that there was an altercation. And all of the witnesses admitted to the police that there was an altercation before the stabbing occurred. Everybody has said that.
He was getting jumped. You being in a place that you're not supposed to be in and people telling you to leave the place.
Why was he not supposed to be there? You being in a place you're not supposed to be in. Y'all keep saying that there was no proof or evidence he wasn't supposed to be there. Now, what I find very interesting is that they'll be all like, well, in order in Texas for a grand jury to indict you, they got to be substantial evidence in order for you to get indicted. Now, what's interesting, though, is that if this was, hold on, let me pull it up. I still got the picture. If this was any of these three, when they arrested Kyle Rittenhouse, y'all said, oh no, this is not right. This is woke. This is a woke rogue jury and a rogue prosecutor that's doing him so wrong. Y'all said that about George Zimmerman. Y'all said the same thing about Daniel Penny. Y'all said when they got arrested, it's because the prosecution is woke. It's because society is too woke and this is anti-white. That's what you guys said. And there's some type of agenda against the white man. That's what you guys said. Now, when he's black, well, that's just because the evidence just points to the fact that he did the crime. And if you don't want to do the time, you shouldn't do the crime. And that's just what it is. And they wouldn't have indicted you if you didn't do it. So you just got to face accountability. Now, when they're white, now it's woke. It's wrong when they're indicted when they kill a black person. That's woke. And the jury is wrong. The prosecution is wrong if they indict them on that. He was saying that about not George Zimmerman, Derek Chauvin. Oh, that's the prosecution and the jury falling under woke propaganda. That's Black Lives Matter. But when a black person gets arrested, well, if you didn't do the crime, now you shouldn't have did it. That's the consequence. Why you killed that white boy? He's a pretty good white boy. You had to kill him. You ain't got to do that. You did the crime, go to jail. That's what he's on.
Don't give you the right to claim that you are afraid enough to stab somebody in the heart who did not use any serious bodily, serious force against you. There was
Okay, I want you guys to remember he said that. You don't have the right to assault nobody, stab nobody who did not do any serious bodily injury to you. Just remember he said that, okay? Just remember he said that, okay?
make you believe that you could experience serious bodily injury or death. These Austin Metcalf kids, that kid wasn't that big. I've seen pictures of these kids. They ain't that big. Come on, bro. They ain't.
They didn't have to be. They were much bigger. First off, they were, in comparison to him, they were much, much bigger than him, and it was more than one. And the situation, you don't even have to be smaller. If there's 2 against 1, you're outnumbered. You're at a huge disadvantage. And these people are much bigger and stronger than him. They don't have to be the damn size of the Incredible Hulk, but they were much bigger than him. You're trying to downplay that. Yeah. No, that's a very important factor.
It ain't like they 6'6", 6'8", 6'5", 300 pounds. I think Austin Metcalf was like a linebacker. He was in an athletic position. He's not a lineman. And even if he was, you have to show that you have fear of serious bodily injury or death in order for you to use deadly force against somebody. And
okay, you have to show. Okay, so what he's saying is that Austin Metcalf putting his hands on Karmelo, being aggressive for no reason, no justification whatsoever, being aggressive and putting his hands on him multiple times, that's not reason enough for him to defend himself. That's what's being said. That is what is being said. That's not reason enough. Okay, that's what he's saying. Let's continue.
Also has to be within self-defense. You cannot provoke a situation and then claim self-defense. So Charleston is completely nutty on this. And I forgot to say this. This is what I wanted to say at the very beginning. Let me tell you why Charleston went the way he went. And as a black man, I understand how black men end up like this. What happens is, as a black man, you grow up in a society where you begin to get brainwashed into believing that this is the reality. The white man is bad. Police officers are bad. Selling drugs is not a big deal. This is what we do. We can't make it in this country because the white man got his foot on our neck. And you believe that. And then you grow out of it. And when you grow out of it, that means you went to college. That means you moved out of the neighborhood. You start getting a new circle of friends. You start really, involving yourself culturally around other people. Then you realize, oh, shoot, I think I've been lied to. Like, white people ain't even worried about us like that. What have I been doing? And
white people ain't worried about us like that. Then why did Austin bother Karmelo? I think this is a perfect case to prove that a black person can be just minding his business, his or her, because it happens to women too. Black people, we just be minding our business. We just be doing what we got to do. We focused on ourselves, and then next thing you know, you got an Austin Metcalf or you got a Karen coming up bothering us. And you talk about, well, white people ain't even bother. It seems like we the only thing y'all be thinking about. We can't go to a store in peace. We can't go to a pool in peace. We can't go to a track meet in peace. We can't go to a church in peace. We can't go anywhere in peace because it's always one of y'all who are hyper focused on what we're doing. It's always y'all who think about us. We are the ones who live rent-free in y'all brains. We've been trying to be left alone and y'all keep coming over. Okay? So we ain't gonna do that.
Then what happens is you go out and you get this newfound understanding and you start really challenging the status quo of how you grew up. And then what happens is you get back in touch with black people in places that you grew up. You start feeling compassion and empathy, and it brings you back to your roots. And then you feel like that you've abandoned your people. And so therefore you have to go back and address the wrongs that you felt like you had done to your own people. And with that being said, people fall back into the trap of brainwashing and convincing themselves that the white man is now bad again. I don't understand how Charleston, being, I think, as inquisitive as he is at times, that he don't understand that he's just hearing a narrative from Karmelo Anthony's family. Of course, they're going to have a narrative because they want their son not to do the rest of his life in prison. But you got to juxtapose the narrative to what the police report is saying to reality. You can't just believe what Austin Metcalf's family was saying. You can't believe what Karmelo Anthony's family was saying. You can only rely on what the evidence that has been presented. And the evidence that we have looks like a first-degree murder. Now,
you believed everything the Metcalf family said? From jump. From jump, he believed everything the Metcalf family said. From start to finish. He said everything they said was correct. Now, what I want to play this, I want to play this next. What's interesting, and I want you guys to remember I told you guys, I said, remember he said, now this is their whole thing. Notice how they changed the goalpost. Their whole thing is, well, Austin, even though Austin put his hands on Karmelo multiple times and was warned not to do so, that's not enough for Karmelo to defend himself. That's not enough justification. Karmelo had to fear that in a split second, his life was going to end. Because besides that, there is no justification for Karmelo doing anything in self-defense. It's not self-defense whatsoever. Okay. So even if you put your hands on somebody, it's not self-defense. What's interesting is that looking this up, this was his response with Daniel Penny. Okay. Same person. Now, I just want you to remember, he's the one who went out there and said, now they're trying to make it seem like this isn't self-defense because it wasn't they're saying that Karmelo shouldn't have feared any danger, but they're saying that Daniel Penny feared danger for himself and the rest of the train by a starving homeless man.
Penny, many people that know that are on this channel that we supported Daniel Penny from the very beginning. And it's not because Brandon Tatum, the bootlegging coon, sell out Uncle Tom, hate his own skin color. It's because I know.
Yeah, it is. It is. Don't lie. At least tell the truth. At least tell the truth that you do. Just don't lie about it. You do. You do.
Right from wrong. I know good from evil. I'm a
no, you don't.
Pragmatist. I can see that when a crazy deranged man, no matter what color he is threatening to take the lives of people, and he's saying he don't care about living and all this other stuff, and he's aggressive, and everybody's feeling the heat, and everybody's afraid of him, and only one man decided he's going to do something about it. I know there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, hold on. An aggressive, crazy man who's getting aggressive. Oh, so that doesn't describe Austin at all. Some man who just randomly walks up to other people, putting his hands on people, and he has no business even talking to this man. He has no business telling this man what to do. He has no business bothering him. And he walks up telling him, get out my tent. And from what I heard, he didn't say it politely. He was like, get off my effing tent or whatever. And then start grabbing all on him and pushing him and all of that with his twin brother who was on the same type of time he was. Oh, that's not aggressive. That's not deranged. That's not somebody who has mental issues. Okay. Okay. That's not that. All right. But yet a homeless man, yeah, that's what that counts as.
So Daniel Penny decides to do what he did, held the guy down for 6 minutes. And this is the thing that I always have controversy with when people bring up the choke thing. There's only two types of chokes, in my opinion. And everything else is just a hold. Everything else is just restraint, resistance. It's not a choke to me. There's the carotid choke, and then there's the choke of the esophagus, which cuts off the air supply. When you choke somebody here, is what you see in MMA, mixed martial arts, UFC fights. They do them here. That cuts off the blood supply to the brain, and man, you can't go no more than, I don't know, 30 seconds. I don't even think you can go 30 seconds. You do it right. You see them tapping. They tapping within seconds of.
You can kill somebody doing that too. Whether you're doing a choke and you're cutting off the airflow or you're cutting off the blood supply, you can kill somebody doing that. Okay. And I'm pretty sure in the UFC and other combat sports, they've banned that because it can kill somebody. That is very deadly to do to somebody. And the police, they ban, you can't do that to somebody. You can hold them, but you can't cut off their blood supply, because that can be very fatal. People can die very, very quickly if you don't resuscitate them immediately doing that. All right. So yeah, that is very deadly.
That blood flow getting cut off to the brain, you pass out almost instantaneously. And then you have the one of the esophagus, right? Where you're cutting off the person's air supply. The human brain can go about 3 minutes without oxygen before it begins to deteriorate and die. And it becomes fatal at that point. So if you're really choking a guy, you can't really choke him for 6 minutes because you're not performing either one of those chokes that I described. Therefore, neither one of those will be fatal to this person unless they're high on drugs and they have excited delirium and they begin to die on their own accord with any level of resistance against that person and their manic behavior.
Okay. So now what he's telling, and this is what they do. What in the language of white supremacists is just lying straight up. Is the antithesis of telling the honest truth. So now he's saying the chokehold that's on video is not like we don't know what happened and we're hearing it from somebody. We saw it on video. It was recorded. The chokehold that we saw wasn't a real chokehold. The fact that he choked him out, that wasn't a real chokehold. It was really the drug, even though there was an autopsy that found out that he was choked to death and he died because he was strangled. He's saying, even though he died because he was strangled, it wasn't the fact that Daniel strangled him that killed him. He died because he was strangled because there were drugs. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, if that's the case, if we're just using that logic, I'm just using that same logic, then Austin didn't die because of the stab. Austin, he just died because he probably didn't eat breakfast that morning and his blood was thin and he probably was taking some type of vitamins. If he had more vitamins, his blood would probably have been thicker. He was probably, juicing up for the game. He probably had too much Gatorade. His blood was flowing too much and it was natural causes. It was probably that thin. Let's just, if we're going to go there with it, let's just go there all the way. You can't say that, well, Karmelo did is first degree murder and we see somebody strangle somebody on video and that's not first degree murder. Okay, well, then nothing's first degree murder then. And then if that's the case, then maybe Austin was on meth. I don't know. I mean, it is meth cab or meth cab. I don't know. It kind of does add up. I don't know. Maybe he was. Maybe he did do a, little something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was juicing. Maybe. I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying he was. But it could be. I mean, what did he have for breakfast? We don't know. Could it have been food poisoning? It could have been food poisoning. Does he have allergies? Maybe he had an allergic reaction. Okay. It could have been an allergic reaction. We don't know what the situation really was. Okay. Maybe he had pre-existing conditions. And it was a natural cause. So if we're going to go there, we're not moving the goalpost. If what Daniel Penny did, if that's not murder, if Jordan Neely died of natural causes, then I say with that same type of logic, then Austin Metcalf died of natural causes. You can't say it was Karmelo, just like you couldn't say it was Daniel. And with the same logic that you said that Daniel is a hero, is the same logic that we're saying Karmelo is a hero. If you're saying that Daniel is a hero because Jordan Neely was a threat to other people, then Karmelo is a hero because Austin was a threat to other people. You see how that works? You see how that works? Okay. All right then. So maybe it's fine. Maybe it's tit for tat. Okay? Maybe it's that way. the situation, we're still learning about it. I have not seen the video, so I don't want to say. I've seen people speak on the video, but I have not seen the video myself. So I'm going to have to do some more research into that, because I'm not Charleston White, and I'm not going to get up here and just say anything on the internet. But what we know is that people are starting to walk back their statements, and I think that that's very telling. I don't think he would be walking back his statement unless the video proved that Karmelo was innocent. I think that he's seen the video, or he knows somebody close to him who's seen the video, and they described what was on that video, and with all of the other evidence, he's looking like, oh damn, let me say this right now before the video gets leaked or something. Now, mind you, if the video proved that Karmelo was guilty, I can guarantee you that video would have been leaked. Okay? So the fact that he's walking this back now is showing me, is kind of indicating to me like, oh, Karmelo might be pretty innocent, like we said from the beginning. So we'll find out. We'll see. We'll see. Tonight, y'all, was a rather shorter live stream because I got to go to the For the Culture channel, do another live stream. So I'll see you guys there, actually. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, or make sure you guys follow. If you guys don't get the notifications, make sure you guys do that and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on anything. All right. I got another live stream to do. I've been putting in the hours, working all week. All right. So I'm going to get off here. I appreciate every single last one of you guys for being here with us. Oh, Stephanie is in here. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? I appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Be one to every single last one of you guys. Well, I'm trying to hit this thing. And, of course, you guys stay blessed.